we're going to do the quiz 1415 review. Okay, we're going to start naming parts based on our diagram. This asks for the sides or the rays of angle 2. So you see angle 2 is here. So this would be ray DF and ray DE. Notice that it starts with the vertex letter. The vertex of angle 5 is going to be D. And the name for angle 4 could be angle CDG or angle GDC. The key letter here that has to be in the same location is D, and that is for the vertex. Using the same diagram, we're going to figure out a missing angle. So we know that the measure of angle 2 is 23 degrees. We're also told that DG is perpendicular to DF, which makes this a right angle. If that's a right angle, then that means that the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle EDG is going to equal 90 degrees. They're complementary angles. So we have 23 plus the measure of angle EDG is going to equal 90. The measure of angle EDG plus 23 is equal to 90. 0 pair out the 23. So the measure of angle EDG is going to be 67 degrees. All right, new diagram. In this diagram, we are told that BC, this is B, BC is an angle bisector. If we have an angle bisector or a line segment that bisects an angle, then we know that angle FBC is equal to angle CBE, angle bisector. So now we're going to do substitution. 8x minus 8 is equal to 3x plus 12. Is the largest variable on the left? It is. Are all the variables on the left? They're not. So we're going to 0 pair the 3x. It's going to give us 5x minus 8 is equal to 12. 0 pair the 8. 5x is equal to 20. Divide by 5, divide by 5. X is equal to 4, and that's what we were looking with, 4. Now also remember that you can go back and put in the 4 into 8x minus 8 and find out what the degree of FBC is. And you can also put 4 into 3x plus 12 and find out what CB is. That's an easy one to do. So 3 times 4 is 12 plus 12 would give us 24. So if that angle is 24, then the other angle is 24 as well. New diagram. We are looking at line segment JL. Line JL is perpendicular to line MN, okay? Which means that's going to form 4 right angles. We're also looking at angle PKM. So angle and K is going to be our middle vertex. So PKM and NKO. So we're looking at this angle here and this angle here. There's only one type of angle that can be, and that's vertical. Okay, again, we know that same diagram. So we have a right angle, right angle, right angle, right angle, because JL is perpendicular to MN. So if we are looking at NKO, and we're looking at, let me put the K in there, we're looking at OKL, we're looking at two angles that add together to equal 90. So we know they are complementary angles. So we're going to do angle NKO plus the measure of OKL is equal to 90. We're going to go ahead and do our substitution. The measure of OKL is equal to 90. The measure of OKL plus 57 is equal to 90. 0 pair out the 57. So the measure of OKL is going to be 33 degrees. All right, for question number 8, in our diagram, we are looking at angles 1 and angle 2. And you'll notice that this is a perpendicular angle, which means that this one will also be a perpendicular angle. So we have angle 1 and angle 2 are going to be complementary. So we have the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees. We have 7x plus 19 plus x plus 5 is equal to 90 degrees. 8x, this should be minus 19, which is going to give us minus 14 is equal to 90 degrees. 0 pair out the 14. 8x is equal to 104. Divide by 8, divide by 8. Get our x over here on the right side. X is equal to 13. So if we're trying to find the measure of angle 2, the measure of angle 2 is equal to x plus 5. So the measure of angle 2 would be equal to 14 plus 5. So the measure of angle 2 is going to be let's see, not 14, it was 13. Let's fix that. So 13, so that's going to be 18 degrees. All right, using the same diagram, we're trying to figure out what angle UPS is. UPS, and my diagram's not drawn quite to scale like yours is, so use your diagram. So we know that angle 1 and angle 4 are vertical. We already know what angle 2 is, so we can figure out what angle 1 is. Let's see. Actually, easier way of doing that would be to look at angles 4 and 5, because that's what we're given. 4 and 5 are going to be linear angles, which means that angle 4 plus angle 5 is going to equal 180. 3x plus 7 plus 9x minus 43 is equal to 180. Combine like terms. We have 12x minus 36 is equal to 180. Let me line up my equal signs. 0 pair out the 36. 12x is equal to 216. Divide by 12, divide by 12. And x is equal to 18. So if we're trying to find the measure of angle UPS, now we can find the angle measure of 4 because we know x. So the measure of angle 4 is going to be 3 times 18 plus 7. So that's going to be 54 plus 7, which is going to be 61. And now we know that the measure of angle UPS is equal to the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 3. So we're going to do 61 plus 90, which will give us 151. And the last problem we have is angles 1 and angle 2 are vertical. So we know that angle 1, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is going to be 180 degrees. 2 and 3 are complementary, so the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 90. We know the measure of angle 3 is 56, plus the measure of angle 2 is going to be 90. 0 pair out the 56. So the measure of angle 2 is going to be 34 degrees. This is 34 plus the measure of angle 1. 0 pair out the 34. So the measure of angle 1 is going to be 146 degrees. And now you've reviewed for your quiz.